Jennifer Coffindaffer on the FBI side, okay, did the job. Misty Maris on the legal side, because you have the question, can you? And then you have the what this can mean, how you make the case, and why this may be a big, big deal. Legally, Misty, we saw it with that kid Ethan Crumbley. But what is the statutory prosecutorial issue here in extending the criminality from child, in this case 14, not 18 or older, to parent?
There's 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter. So that's reckless disregard of a known risk. So it's going to look back at the father of the shooter and say, what did he know about his propensity for violence? We just learned today that he gifted his son the gun used in December of 2023 as a holiday present. So all of that's going to be very relevant. But something that's very different from what we saw in the Crumbley case is 2 counts of second-degree murder. That's a different legal theory, and it's unclear because we don't have the probable cause affidavit what the basis for second-degree murder, which can either require malice aforethought, meaning some form of intent, or is a murder that happens in furtherance of cruelty to a child. So that legal theory, unclear why it's only 2 counts as opposed to the 4 that we're seeing in involuntary manslaughter. So a lot to learn from the probable cause affidavit, but that seems to be an even more novel legal theory than what we saw with involuntary manslaughter and what unfolded in the Crumbley trial.
You know, there is a legal edict that's respondeat superior that it is not unusual in the law to look above an actor who is in control of that person. It doesn't usually happen in these cases, not because of the law, but because of policy. We always assume that the parents of the shooter have already been punished by having to live with what their kid did, like back in Columbine. We have evolved in our understanding of who should be responsible and how. So, Jennifer Coffindaffer, how do you make this case? And from a policy perspective, do you think it makes it less likely we'll have school shootings if parents know they will go to prison if their kid does something like that?
Well, first of all, to your latter question, I don't think so, because the Crumbley case had happened and everyone knew about that case. At least it was in the news, and it didn't seem to affect this, unfortunately. But I think as it becomes more and more of a precedent, it could. Remember, Lanza and Freiberg also used their parents' weapon. Obviously, Lanza killed his mother before committing the shootings, but we've seen this over and over and over again. And so I am glad to see these charges levied. As far as those 2 charges that Misty was referring to, I think that's because there's only 2 deceased children that were affected, and that's why they've honed in on that. As far as proving this, the number one thing that I thought was interesting right when this story broke early on was they were interviewing him, Colt. And when I found out that was happening, I felt like they were going to try to build the case against the person that provided those weapons, Chris.
I got to tell you, Misty Maris, Jennifer Coffindaffer, this is a really interesting, we knew it was a tragedy. We're way too comfortable with these tragedies, but we've never seen any kind of prosecutorial move towards stopping the next one, and that's what punishing parents is about. We'll see where it goes. Thank you both very much. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.